Every day is a new beginning. Shine your light. It's a day and the world is waiting. Move along to the song, singing in your soul. Feel the beat, clap your hands, let it take control. All you need, all you want, are you ready to find your way? 'Cause every day is a new day.
Welcome to Wisconsin Family. I'm Janet Cresson.
And I'm Justin Riley, and I'm really excited to be here at Wisconsin Granite in McFarland. We're going to be looking at some of their favorite products, some different types of stone in the back room later on in the program. Behar is going to take us through there, and that should be good.
I love it when they give us a show and tell. They can give us
Yes.
a little bit of the background. I like that. I like learning how they get it, where they get it, and why they like it, what it's good for, too.
Absolutely, absolutely. And their showroom is just so beautiful. I mean, you walk in here, and it's got a good presentation, and I love how a lot of the staff just kind of has their office space right out here in the showroom. It kind of gives a sense of just community, and, you know, they're just there. They're right there to help you as soon as you walk in.
Absolutely.
Very cool.
And very fitting, another guest we have today is from Natura Clean. They're an eco-friendly cleaning system here in Madison, serving the Madison community and surrounding areas. But they like to clean without chemicals. And
Yes, eco-friendly.
Yeah, and
Yep.
specifically, she's going to teach us how to clean granite and marble and stone.
Different types of stone. She's going to teach us how to know our stone.
Yeah, what to do, what not to do, because there are definitely some
Yep.
rules there. We're also talking dance today.
Jo Jean Rettrum from Monona Academy of Dance and Dance Wisconsin is going to join us. She's going to give us a little bit of an update on their move and a recent trip that she took down to Phoenix, actually.
Yeah,
So,
don't worry, they're not moving far, just a mile away from their current location, which they've been for 35 years. Yeah, a long
35
time.
years. So we'll hear from her right after the break here on Wisconsin Family, so stick with us.
'Cause every day is a new day. 'Cause every day is a new day.
Welcome back to Wisconsin Family. We're having a lovely time here at Wisconsin Granite over in McFarland, and we're going to take a little walk through their back room later on in the show.
A little show and tell, I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, absolutely. But first, we're going to talk a little dance with Jo Jean Rettrum from the Monona Academy of Dance and Dance Wisconsin. How are ya?
I'm good.
Good to have you with us. And I love the flower. Can I just
thank
say
you.
that? That's
Thank
great.
No, she's the dance expert. How was that, by the way?
That was,
Terrible. Let's be honest, it was terrible.
you could use some lessons.
Okay, good.
I know a good
That's
teacher.
That's a good segue. I like that. Good little elevator pitch. So you guys have been in the same location now for 35 years.
Yeah.
And you're in the process of moving.
Yes.
How's that going?
It's going awesome.
It's going.
Going as how moving usually goes.
Yeah,
Right.
I have a couple of amazing parents that
Okay.
are really helping with everything. We have the walls all up. We
Good.
have the drywall done. We've got some of the painting done. Next step now is all the carpeting and the floors and
Sure.
So a shout out to some of those parents
Right.
volunteering their
yes,
time.
yes.
Yeah.
It's really
You're not moving that far, are you?
No, it's only about a mile,
Okay.
but you know, it's
Wow.
packing up everything. We're doing a garage sale, moving sale, and trying
Okay.
to get rid of stuff that we're not going to be using. And
Do you want to give a plug as to when that is?
tomorrow,
Oh,
we did one last weekend.
Okay.
But there's still some left over, and
Sure.
Okay.
and all the funds are going to help with the move and help the dancers. And,
It's kind of a labor of love, it sounds like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
you were also out of town. I don't know how you had time to go out of town, but
I know.
you went out of town for the National Festival for Regional Dance America. That's a mouthful.
Yes.
Tell us about that, what you learned from that.
Well, we're the only organization in the state that belongs to this prestigious organization. So it's like a farm team, you know, like we train our dancers to go into professional companies. So this was a national festival. It's held every 5 years, and it was in Phoenix. And I took 10 dancers, and they took classes all day from amazing teachers from all over the world. And then there were performances every night, and my dancers did just an awesome job. So I was very proud of them, and they learned so much, and you network with all
Yes.
these other dancers who who are their friends then.
Yeah, that's got to be so exciting for the dancers that are going there. And like you said, networking and meeting people in the industry. That's awesome. And tell us again, how warm was it when you left Phoenix?
It was 104.
Wow.
It's about half that today.
About literally, yeah. Good call on that. Good call. Well, I want to make sure that we talk a little bit about the dance techniques themselves that you teach. So there's something called the progressive ballet technique.
Yes,
Can you
it's
tell
a
us about
new
that?
technique, and
Okay.
one of my teachers and myself took the course while we were in Phoenix.
Okay.
And the teacher was from Australia. And she's developed a technique using these big balls to safely teach, dancers about their turnout and getting their core stronger.
Sure.
So now we are certified to teach this in our studio. So it's going to be an amazing thing for our dancers.
Awesome.
It sort of makes me think of Joseph Pilates. And
It
his-
has some of the Pilates, with it. So she was just awesome, and what a wonderful lady, and
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun.
How exciting to bring that back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that we have time to talk about what's coming for summer. We'll get to that in a second. Recitals, that's something that you guys do, and I'm curious why you like them. Why do you think they're
Well,
important?
it's really important for dancers to learn how to perform. And a lot of kids are afraid, so it's really good when you start when you're young so that you're not afraid of getting up on stage. It helps you even speaking. You can get up in front of people. So for a long time, I didn't really like doing them.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is so much work. But you just see how the dancers grow from all their performing.
Right.
So, next year is going to be our 70th year, so
Wow.
it's going to be very special. So our recital is June 3rd and 4th at the MIPB Theater at MATC. So.
Awesome. Awesome. And what does a typical recital consist of? I mean, is it individual dancers kind of doing their own thing, or is it group work, or all of the above?
It's a lot of group work. I
Okay.
mean, we have what's called the Mad City Dancers. It's our
Okay.
competition group, and they open the show with we do a lot of musical theater. I have a lot of dancers that go into musical theater, so we really train them in that. And then we're doing a ballet. It's called La Boutique Fantisque. It's the toy shop.
Okay.
So a lot of the ballet is in that. So then the children learn about what a story of a ballet, and then we do a lot of tap and jazz and contemporary, and then we're ending with a big tap number.
Well, that sounds good.
Yeah, it's
Got a
gonna be
grand
fun.
finale at the end.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
So let's talk a little bit, because Janet mentioned planning for the summer. What's
Yeah.
going on this summer at Monona
Well,
County?
summer is a really good time to finesse and work on your technique, especially for older dancers. So we do intensives. We do 5 weeks of classes, Monday through Thursdays, all day, working on ballet, point, contemporary. I bring in guest teachers from the Joffrey in Chicago and work on character and musical theater, different kinds of dancing that you don't get the opportunity to work on during the school year because you're too busy.
Thus the intensive part.
Yes.
Yeah, all day for,
Yeah.
you said Monday through Thursday?
Monday
for
through
5
Thursdays,
weeks. I bet you're
yep.
pretty good after that. You get pretty good at it.
Yeah, you really
you go.
gain a whole year of dancing in the summer.
Wow, that's incredible.
Working
Good
on that.
perspective.
And before we go, you have lots of 4-day camps for the littler ones
Yep,
too.
we have little princess camps and young dancer workshops, just to get them excited about doing
Yep.
different kinds of dancing. So.
Yep.
What a great way to get a kid
Yeah.
started.
Jo Jean Retron from Monona Academy of Dance, Monona Academy of Dance and Dance Wisconsin. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
Don't go away. More Wisconsin Family coming up after the break.
'Cause every day is a new day.
And welcome back to Wisconsin Family. Justin and I are out in McFarland at Wisconsin Granite, where later they're going to show us some of their favorite things.
Yes, a few of my favorite things. The song is going in my head now. So.
Actually, it's mine too. When I heard what we were talking about, I had
Yeah.
that song running through my mind. Right now, though, we're talking clean, getting the house clean. And with me, I have Chris Koenig. She's with Natura Clean. Thank you for helping me to get that right.
Sure.
Chris is the owner of Natura Clean, and they are a Madison area eco-friendly cleaning company. Thanks for joining Justin and me
Thank you.
today. So today, since we're at Wisconsin Granite, kind of fun that we'll talk about cleaning stone, granite, countertops, things like that. And there are many types. Are they all cared for the same way?
They're not, and so it's really important that you know what you have, so you know how to care for it and follow the manufacturer's instructions. What we do is we assume that we just clean it based on what the most sensitive material is, what the most sensitive stone is. But if you, as a homeowner, you should know what you have and really follow the instructions.
Isn't some of that due to like how porous the material is?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
And so if a homeowner doesn't know what they have, then you just go with like the least.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Treat it like it's never been sealed, and like it's marble or granite that's never been sealed, and
Right.
you'll be safe.
Right. Yeah. And you guys, I mean, your team must encounter so many different types of stone countertops when they clean. And, you know, speaking from personal experience, I know quite a few people who have stone countertops. And I've asked them, just from, you know, being at this place, you know, once a month, I've learned a few things. And I'll ask them, hey, do you do anything special to clean those countertops? And many of them say, well, no. So there's sort of an educational gap there for sure. But how do you make sure that your teams are using the right methods when they're cleaning?
Yeah, so well, first of all, if you're a homeowner, you want to make sure you're if you have granite or marble, you want to make sure you're sealing it when you're supposed to seal it.
Right.
Then you're good. You know,
Right.
then you're not going to have the problems that a lot of homeowners run into. But, you know, we don't know. When we go into homes, we don't know if people are sealing. And
Right,
I've actually
yeah.
never, when I ask clients, they usually say, oh, I don't know what you're talking about,
Right,
or I don't
right.
remember when. Yeah, so we go in and we treat it like it's unsealed or hasn't been sealed in a long time, and like it's either granite or marble. And so we use an enzyme-based cleaner that is pH neutral and non-chelating. And chelating means that something is interacting with the minerals. And so if you've ever cleaned stone with soap or a regular all-purpose cleaner and afterwards you feel it and it feels really gritty, that's what's happening. That's chelating. So you don't want that to happen. But as a homeowner, one of the easy things you can do is just take a microfiber cloth, and which removes bacteria. It removes over 80% of bacteria, and water. And distilled water is the best, but even if just regular water, and just clean your countertops with that.
And we've talked about microfiber before, in that how you know, certain chemicals will kill bacteria, but this actually removes it.
Yep, exactly. So
Yeah.
technically it's sanitizing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just the physical structure of the cloth itself.
Yeah, exactly. The way that the fibers are split, they're microscopically split, and they're removing the bacteria, and you can really clean with just water and microfiber.
That's incredible.
That
Yeah.
is incredible. You know, I actually pulled a quote from one of your reviews, and talking about how that must work really well, because one of your happy customers said, "Wow, that is some crazy cleaning y'all did. Our house wasn't even that clean when we moved in."
Right. I love that quote.
I love that one. So this is apparently one of the best ways to clean stone too.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. It's, you can't go wrong. You're not going to damage a surface if you do it this way.
Wow, I'm glad to hear that. I was going to ask you afterward about my own, because I have a slate floor, and it sounds like maybe I'll talk to you about that.
Yeah, and the thing with slate, the soapstone and slate is they're more durable. You can do a lot more with soapstone and slate. I mean, you can use acid on it, which like vinegar, which you can't use on other surfaces. But with slate, you need to know, what quarry it came from, or did it come from a quarry? Because otherwise, some slate is actually a river rock. So you have to know your stone.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Wow, she does. She knows her stone, that's for sure. So the best way to clean, just you spray some water on it, you wipe it off with microfiber, and that's pretty much it. You're good to go.
Yep.
So what other tips can you offer for people who do have stone countertops, who don't want to invite you over every single day to wipe off their counters?
Is there a never ever kind
Yeah.
of thing? Don't ever.
There is, yeah. Well, there is one thing you want to do is always wipe things up. When they happen, wipe them up,
Right.
because you don't want them to sit there, especially if it's something that hasn't been sealed. But never ever use acid. You don't want to put vinegar on. If you have hard water around the faucet, and you don't want to spray vinegar to get the hard water off. Well, the only thing that gets hard water off of things is acid. So you're kind of in a little catch-22 there. So you need to use other things, like elbow grease, some abrasives,
Yeah.
things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Abrasives are okay, but maybe not the acidic types of stuff.
Correct, but you still have to be careful with abrasives because,
Right.
like, if it's a quartz countertop, you don't want to use anything that's too abrasive because that will scratch because of the resin. So you really need to know your countertop.
Yes,
you really need to know your
Know your
surface. Yeah.
stone. Well, we didn't get a chance to talk about stone tile and showers, but maybe next time that'd be something that we can bring up is cleaning your showers if you have stone tile. So,
Perfect.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alrighty.
Well, Chris Koenig from Natura Clean, thank you so much for joining us today. Don't go away. There's more Wisconsin Family coming up after the break.
'Cause every day is a new day.
Welcome back to Wisconsin Family. I'm standing next to Behar Massini, who is the manager of Wisconsin Granite. How are you, Behar?
Pretty good. How are you?
Awesome, awesome. It's always good to be back in the warehouse. It's a little cold today, but
Yeah.
I think we're going to be warmed up once we see some of the things that you guys offer back here.
Yeah,
So.
and that's also one of the nice things is all this site is all these things are indoors, and you can actually come here and even when it's cold, hot,
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah,
and you're
yeah.
able to come in here and look at them.
That's awesome. So, we talked a little bit. When we were doing the first part of our show, we talked a little bit
Yeah.
about how kitchens and bathrooms, countertops are really a great way for homeowners to upgrade their homes. Can you talk a little bit about why that's so important?
A lot of times, most of the homes that are built 15, 20 years ago are probably going to have the laminate or Corian.
Right.
And over time, they are not lifelong countertops.
Right.
So over time, they do take a beating, whether it's the seam breaks or discolors or something like that. So a lot of people find the option of changing those countertops out to either granite, marble, or quartz. And the reason why a lot of people go with these ones is because they're supposed to last a lifetime. There really is nothing that you can do to granite to hurt it, unless you really are taking a hammer to it and smashing it.
Hopefully nobody's doing that. So,
I hope so neither.
durability is kind of the king here
Yeah.
is when it comes to making this decision is what it sounds like.
Yep, correct. I mean, all this is natural stone. And the way it's created is over a period of time, through eruptions or whatever they may be.
Right.
They're just cut up into different slices, polished on the face of them, and then we get them here for customers to buy.
That's fantastic. And let's talk about some of the specific materials that you mentioned. You talked about marble, granite, and quartz, and we're going to see some examples of all four of those
Yep.
today, or all three of those, excuse me. So what are we looking at here today? This looks like granite,
So
yes?
this is a granite, and this actually comes from Italy.
Okay.
And these are some of the most expensive stones that we have in stock. But you can see the linear pattern.
Sure.
And it's very, very durable, especially the darker colors.
Right. It's called brown silk. I don't know if
Yeah.
you can see that, but it really does have that affect to it. That's
Yeah.
really, really cool. And you have kind of a tier system. So
Yeah.
tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, and tier 4 is the kind of the high end.
Actually, I would say tier 4 is probably like the middle of the
That's the
level.
middle end. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have starting prices at $39 a square foot, and it goes all the way up to $175 a
Okay,
square
so it
foot.
kind of depends on what you're looking for and
Exactly.
what your budget is, of course. So, well, let's see
Yep.
another example. We're going to
Yep.
head right over here. This is the one, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So this is also a granite. This one
Okay.
comes from Brazil.
Oh, interesting.
And it's definitely got those warmer tones in there that
Yeah.
matches a lot of oak cabinetry. And for somebody just looking to add a little spice to their kitchen, this would be the best way to go about it because
Yeah.
it just kind of matches everything. It matches all the paint colors, stainless steel appliances, you name it.
Yeah, and I think that's really appealing to me because when we talk about these being long term,
Yeah.
they last forever. Styles change. I mean, cabinet style change, color
they do.
preferences change. So if you can find something that's going to not only last as far as from a physical standpoint, but an aesthetic standpoint,
Yeah.
I think that's obviously what you'd want to be looking for.
I mean, like I said, this definitely matches with a lot of things, and for a lot of people, this is a safe choice.
Sure.
And this is actually one of our lowest pricing. It's at the $49 a square foot, so it's a
Okay.
very, very reasonable price for something that's considered exotic.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're like us and you don't have a lot of counter space, that really wouldn't be that much when it
No,
comes down
it
to
really
it.
wouldn't.
So, okay, let's go on to the next one. What
Okay.
are we looking at next?
The next one I want to show you guys is the marble. This comes from Italy.
Okay.
So all the marble that we have here is from Italy. And I think one of the characteristics that you'll see with granite versus the marble is marble is going to get a lot of that white color in there. Whitish gray tones that you really are not going to find in any other granite.
Sure.
This works a lot with very modern kitchens, white cabinets, dark floors, you name it.
Right.
We've also been seeing a little bit of a combination where they'll go a little bit lighter on the island and a little bit darker on the perimeter. It's all a personal preference.
I'm always curious to know how people know. I mean, this might be a little bit of an ignorant question,
Yeah.
but how people know, like when they're, cutting these out of the ground, whether it is granite or marble. I mean, you must have people who are specialists who kind of can understand and can take samples and that sort of thing.
Exactly. I mean, most of the quarries that we have, they before they even know, when they start digging, they actually know exactly what material it is.
Sure.
And then they'll go after that. So a lot of the marble quarries are just going to have marble, granite is going to be separated, and all that other stuff. But
Okay.
before they even dig, they definitely know.
Okay. Let's look at another sample real quick here.
Another one that I want to show you is this one right here.
Okay.
This is Green Galaxy.
I love this one. This is, I mean, it looks like stars
Yeah.
against a green sky. That is so cool.
And that's why we named it
Right,
Green Galaxy.
right.
So a lot of people will like something like this. It's a little bit darker. It's still got some sort of a pattern to it, and it's beautiful. But upon seeing all these 4 different samples that we've looked at here today, you can get something as dark as this and something as light as that, and that's all natural. It all comes from the ground like
Right.
that. We don't do nothing to the surface of it, and it's unique.
That's very cool. I want to make sure that we get to quartz, but first,
Yeah.
I'm just kind of curious, what goes in typically to the decision-making process of whether somebody gets marble, granite, or quartz? I mean, because as a homeowner myself, I'm thinking, well, I don't know what's going to be best for me. I mean, I just kind of look like how this one looks or that one looks, but do you make recommendations on materials specifically?
We always make recommendations. I mean, it all depends on really what you're going to use your kitchen for. If it's a kitchen that you like to do like to have a lot of friends and have people invite, and it's mostly for show, I would definitely say the marble, because that's where you're going to get the more characteristics, the whiter patterns, and really a neat design that nobody else is going to have.
Yeah.
If you want something that you want to go to town on it and just beat it up, I would
Right.
say the granite
Yeah.
and quartz are probably going to be the best.
Okay. Well, we have a quartz example that we're going to look at in your showroom. Let's head over there.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Sounds good.
So these are some examples of quartz.
Yes.
So let's talk about what we have here. There's so many different colors. I think that's amazing. A lot of people think when they think quartz, they think white because they think those little white stones that used to be in, landscapes and so forth.
So these are our quartz samples, and as you said, they come in very different colors. And what a lot of people like is that solid color.
Yeah.
So if you're looking more like grays, whites, they're just more of a solid color. There really is nothing going on into
Right.
them. Although upon occasion you can get something that is
Sure.
that is as busy as this, that has a lot of pattern
Sure.
to it too.
And that's a little bit more like the granite that we saw, some of those patterns.
Yes,
But it's
exactly.
quartz, okay.
But it is quartz.
Okay. So in terms of durability, marble, quartz, granite, what's the order?
I would say quartz, granite, and then marble.
Quartz is the most durable, then
And-
granite, then marble.
And part of the reason is because it's engineered.
Okay.
So a lot of the composition can be really, really tightly put together.
Oh, okay.
Whereas the granite is natural, so it's going to have a lot of veins
Oh,
and
okay.
fixtures, making it a little bit easier for cracks and chips and stuff like that. But in a normal kitchen use, you should never have a problem with either marble, granite, or quartz.
Wow. So these aren't, when you pull them out of the ground, they don't look like this necessarily.
No,
They're manufactured.
They're all manufactured,
Wow.
so these are not even out of the ground at all.
Wow, that's fantastic. Now, real quick before we go, can you tell us how long does a install typically take?
Well, usually when a customer comes here, they pick out the stone, we go through the process. Measuring is going to take about 45 minutes to 2 hours, and then the install is going to take 2 to 4 hours.
That's really not that long at all.
No,
That's
it's not. So
fantastic.
it's all done in one day, and everything is done through us.
Well, Behar, thank you so much for the
Yeah,
tour. I
not a problem.
appreciate it.
It's
We're
good
all
to
out
have
of
you guys.
time. Thanks for joining us here on Wisconsin Family, right here at Wisconsin Granite. We'll see you next time.
The beat, clap your hands, let's take